Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we will see how to do the styling of the end design components. We will explore the styling of the images, the text, the input fields, the buttons, the date picker and some other components like the table. So let's get started. I have an empty ReactJS project that is using end design and right now it's showing nothing. So let's go ahead and import few components from the end design and start styling them. So let's start from a very basic component for textual or labels. So that is typography and we use it here. So we can use its text and maybe we can say CodeWithAamir, right? Save it. Here you go, CodeWithAamir. Okay, so to style this one there are multiple options that we can do. One is we can do the styling here using the style prop. So suppose we can say its color is maybe red, right? Here you go, the color is changed red, and we can change its the font weight or font size as well. We can say font size, maybe it's 16 pixels and font weight is bold, right? Save it. It's 16 and bold. Let's increase it to maybe 20. Okay, so this is the one way we do styling of the end design components. So here we can write any of the styles inside the style prop and that will get applied on this one. The other way is we can add a class name here. We can say the class name and maybe we can say header, and inside our CSS we can apply the styling there. So let's comment out this one back to the normal, and then in the after CS we can write our class header and here we can say the same, maybe color is red and font size is 20 and font weight is bold, right? So the same styling has been applied using a class, right? And there is a third way as well, because we are using these components from the end design. So end design by default applies some classes or the styling to those, and if we inspect the elements and goes to that element, so we can see that there is a class already applied on that is ant-typography. Yes, and also there is another class that we applied the header that is also applied to this one, right? So what we can do is we can either override this class, its styling, and it should behave the same. So let's copy this class and go to the after CS and let's comment on this one. So we are back to normal, and if I do this one, so and typography and do the same styling, copy it and paste it here, save it. Here you go, the same styling has been applied there as well, right? So these are the ways to apply the styling to any end design component. One is using the style and the other one is using the class name, and that we can customize in our CSS classes, or we can override the styling by using the same class name as has been applied by the end design, right? Okay, so now if I write another typography component, copy it, maybe we can say welcome back. Okay, even I remove this one, I have just used the typography text and it has styled it to welcome back. So suppose I want to style it different, suppose I want to change its color to green maybe. So by using this technique, So what I can do is either I can do in this style, using the style, or I have to apply in a different class instead of this one, so that I can override the styling. Wherever we declare the typography text, this class will be applied, and because we have written that these are the styles, so on all of these typography text, this style will be applied. Suppose we want to change the style of this one by using this technique. So to change the styling differently, what we can do is we can give a different class name to this one. So suppose we can say class name is maybe welcome message, right? Copy it, save. Okay, here we can override the styling. Let me do this one. If it is green, here you go, right? But what about if we have already added the font size and the font weight, that we should reuse it, this one, right? Only the color is changing. So if I remove this one, it will what it will be doing is it will be only changing the color here, and rest it will be applied from this one. And if I copy this one, cut and paste it here, so you see what will happen. So here what is happening is I am saying that the welcome message, the color should be green, but here for all of the typography we are saying the color is red. So this green color has been overridden by this class, right? So same we were doing here. So before we are saying that all of the typography color will be red, but here we are overriding for this particular class. Here you go, right? This is the one way. The other way is that we can add a span or the div on top of this one, and there we can say the class name is this, and inside the span we can render this one, copy it. Okay, so here we are saying that the span class name is this one, and we are adding the color of to span green, but inside the span there is a typography, and the typography color is red, right? So what we can do is we can override the typography color inside the span. So that will be something like this. So when inside the welcome message component, if there is a typography, then use this color. To do this type of stuff, I usually use the sass npm package. So for that you need to do is npm install sass. I have already installed the sass npm package, and for that we can use, instead of the CSS class, we can use the SCSS class. So let me create a new file. We can say override.scss. so this is a symbol for the sass, and inside that we can do the same stuff. So let me copy, maybe cut it from here and do the same in override.scss, and here we can import that. Import it is /override.scss, right? Save it. Here you go. So nothing in this after CSS, so we can close this one. And in the override, what we are saying that all of the typography will be doing having red color, font size 20, and weight is bold. But when the typography is inside the welcome message, then the color will be green. So here it is doing. We can override other parameters as well. Maybe we can say the font size is, instead of 20, it is 30, right? Here you go, it's now 30. Okay, so this is the way we can override the classes or the styling of the and design components. So let's open app and override CSS and use some other components as well. So suppose we use the input from and design and save it. Here you go, the input. And if we want to do the styling of this one, either we can do using the style, or we can give it a class name, or we can override the classes. So for this one, let's directly override it. If you click on this and input, and the class name is ant-input, go to there, and here we can say ant-input. Maybe you can say the border color is red. Here you go. Let's add a placeholder as well. Insert that placeholder type here. Here you go. And if I write something, it's in black color, so we can override that as well. Maybe we can say the color is green too. Okay, and let's change the border color as well to green. Here you go, green inside. And if I close this one, welcome to CodeWithAamir, right? And if I add another input, the same style will be applied to that as well, because we have overridden the ant-input class, right? So let's add all of these inside a space, so that there is a little gap between these space with the size of maybe 20 and direction of vertical. Okay, cut it from here and paste it here. Okay, that's good. Maybe 20 is more. Let's add 12. Okay. The margins that you are seeing here are because of this typography text, but default margins we can override these as well. And also we can override these placeholder text as well, the styling of the placeholder text. So that will be inside the dot and input, and inside placeholder we can say the color is maybe blue. Here you go, type here. Okay. And one recommendation on while you are overriding the and design styles, you should not do at the top level. I mean, right now we are doing a very top level, so wherever we are declaring the inputs, like I have added input here. If I in any other component I add the input, so it will be styled like this way. If we want to keep the same styling all over the way, then we can use this this way. We can override it on the very top level. But if we want to keep that styling different in different components, right? So suppose in one component we want to say the border color is green, in some other component we can say the border color is red, and the font size is different. So to achieve that, what we should be doing is we can say that if it is inside this component, do this type of overriding. If it is inside this component, do this type of overriding. So suppose we are right now in the app component, and we can say that at the very top, that inside, if we are inside the app, then do all of this styling, right? Save it. And if we are outside the app component, do not do this styling. So what it will be doing is, by default it will be doing whatever is in the default styling of the and design components, right? So let me give you an example. So suppose we want to change the styling here. it is green, and we want to say if it is inside some other component, do a different styling. So let me create a very small component here. You can say the function custom input, and here we can return this input. Right, and here we can say the custom input. Right now it's the same because we are still overriding it the same way, but here we can say instead of the input, if I say return a div, and inside the div return the input, let's add a parenthesis here, okay, and give it a class. We can say custom input, right? Copy it. If I say dot custom input, let's copy and create input 2, and it is custom input 2, and same goes. Copy it, and here custom input 2. Okay, so right now we can see that custom input 1 and 2, let's rename them to 1 and 2. Okay, this is 1 and this is 2, this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, right now everything is inside the app, and it has been styled whatever we have overridden here. But here what we are saying that if it is in custom input 1, do this type of styling. If it is inside custom 2, do other type of styling. If we do that, so let me copy from here. Instead of the parent is app, I say if the parent is custom input 1, then only do the styling, otherwise do not do the styling. So here it goes. So the 1 is styled but 2 is not styled. If we want to override the styling here differently, we can easily do that, right? So idea here is that if we want to keep the same styling everywhere, we will be adding it in the common parent, right? So the common parent is app. So if we want to say that whenever they are in the common parent, only do the border color green, but do not do the color, and rest let's keep the same. So when it is inside the custom input 1, do the color green, and when it is inside the custom input 2, maybe do the color red, right? So this way we can override the styling. So it is welcome in red and it is welcome in green, right? So this is how we can style the ant design or the override the styling of the ant design differently in different components, or we can use the same in different components. So it's up to us how we style or override the styles, right? So let's go ahead and use some more components, like we use the button. Okay, so give it a name. You can say button. Okay, so here you go, but the default styling of the button. So the other way I usually do is what happens, there is some semicolon here, it is that returning. Okay, so what I usually do is I inspect that component and write the styling here. So this button is selected and it has the default class ant button, ant button default, right? So I usually do the styling here, and then when I see the styling is good, then I copy it and apply in the color, the CSS. So let's change the background color to maybe red, right? And change the width to be maybe 120, and then I can change the color to white, and maybe the font weight is bold. As soon as I'm changing it, I am seeing how it is looking. So I can change the border radius to maybe 16 pixels. Let's update its width to maybe 150 pixels. Okay, looks good. Let's copy it, and this time let's override it directly inside the app. So we can say if it is dot ant button to this styling. I have copied this one. So before saving this, let me refresh the default, and I save it this one. So converted to the overridden style. Okay, so this was the button. So next we can maybe display our image here and style that as well. So let's do the image from the ant design and give it a source. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so we can override this one as well. The idea is the same. Inspect that. So either we can do this here the styling, or we can give a custom class, or we can directly override this ant image. Let's say we can say width is 150 pixel, or maybe even 100 is enough. So copy it and override the ant image. Dot ant image, width is 100. If I refresh and save it back to 100. Okay, so let's go ahead and do few more. So it was the button. Let's use the DatePicker. Here you go. Oh. And also we can do a mix of that. We can do some styling here, some styling in the class, and some styling in the overrides. So we can we have all of the options. So let's do the some styling here. So we can say style width is maybe 100%. So save it. Here you go. It is unequal to this. Before it was like the smaller, and then we can add a class, our custom class. We can say maybe DatePicker. Let's copy and save it. I usually add all of my the CSS classes inside the parent, so that if whatever I am writing or overriding or doing the styles, it does not affect or does not has side effects on other pages, right? So here we can say maybe the border color is green. There you go, the border color is green. Let's save it, and right now we can override this internals as well, and also we can override this overlay. So if I inspect this one, let me show you something. Here you go, and if you go to the very top, it is inside, it is not inside the app component, right? It is actually inside the main body, right? Okay, so directly under the body it is ant-picker drop down. right? So we cannot say that inside the app do this one. So let me show you. If I inspect this one and if I say its color is red, so it has updated the color here. And if I copy its class from here and put it here, and if I say the color is red, it won't be doing the same. Let me refresh. So the color is still the black because this pop-up is not under the app. The parent of this component is not app. The parent of this component is something else. So for this type of components, mostly ant-design has provided another prop that is called, if we search class, the one is the class name that we have already used, the other one is dropdown class name, right? So this, whatever we apply here, that will be applicable to this dropdown. So we can say DatePicker dropdown. If I copy it and instead of .app, if I say inside the DatePicker dropdown, change the color to this one, save it, here you go. So now the color is changed to red, right? So what we need to do is we can check if it is a drop down or some sort of overlay or these type of things. First check if it is available in the class. Otherwise we can say we can check in other class names. Okay, so let's go ahead and import some other components, like some bigger components like table, and for the tables that adds the columns. By the way, all of these components that I have used, I have a separate videos on all of these. Please check on my channel. You will see and get the idea how to use these specific or the different components. Okay, so inside the columns, let's say the title is column 1 and data index is column 1. Let's copy and add few more columns. Column 2, column 3 is enough. Column 2, column 3, and the data index 2 and data index 3. 1 1 2 2 3 3 is fine. Here you go, column 1 2 3. Let's add the data source as well. Maybe column 1, I can say that should be inside this one. Column 1, the data index column 1 is maybe row 1, column 1. Column 2 is row 1, column 2, and column 3 is row same and column 3. Copy. Okay, the row column 1 row has been added. Let's add one more. Let's add 3 rows. This is row 2 2 2 and 3 3 3. Here you go. It's going beyond that. Let's add 2 rows are enough. Okay, so here you see it has added the table, and we can let's try to override the style of this one as well. The idea is the same. Inspect the elements. Okay, so ant-table cell, copy it, and this is inside the app, right? Inside the app, override the ant-table cell. Maybe you can say background color is purple. Here you go. So right now what it has done, although we inspected the header, so we are saying ant-table cell color should be purple. So if we go to the body, inside the body, and there is also the ant-table cell. So the header cell and the rows cells are using the same class name, so that's why all of this is purple. So to change the color only for the header, what we can do is we can say if its parent is this one, if its parent is the table t head, only then change the styling to this one. Here you go. And maybe you can say the color is white. Okay, so now let's change the color of these to something else. We can say that if it is inside the table body and it is again the ant table cell, do something else. Let's copy, and inside of ant table it's tpoty, this class name, and then the color is maybe gray and the color is black. Here you go. And we can change the border color to maybe purple. Here you go. And here it is white, it's fine. Okay, so similarly you can change the styling of any component from the end design, right? So that's it on exploring the styling or the overriding styling of the end design components. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and if you have learned something in this video, please hit like, subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.